This is a presentation of the University of Wisconsin Parkside.
Good morning again, and thank you. Thank you for participating in the 2013 Spring Convocation here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. As Chancellor, Spring Convocation is important as we recognize the dedication of faculty and staff and honor anniversaries. But much more than recognizing individuals, it is when we come together under a shared vision that we make things happen. And let me tell you, things are happening here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. A great example of important change and progress here at our university is underway right now. I am very pleased to report that we have nearly a 140% increase in winter enrollment, moving from 268 students to 640 students, so congratulations. In reimagining and creating a new winterim, we, together, have made a deliberate and coordinated choice to make things happen at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. We did this inside of available resources and in line with our commitment to shared governance. I am very pleased and proud of the entire campus, but I want to thank our colleagues in enrollment services for adapting processes to the new model. I want to thank our advisors for promoting the winterim offerings, and thank our terrific UW-Parkside faculty and academic staff colleagues for enthusiastically embracing the new winterim format and for making it a tremendous success. And thanks to our students for embracing change, seeing the value of winterim enrollment and how that helps them to make progress towards earning a UW-Parkside degree. Yes, I think together we deserve another round of applause for a great new winterim model. And speaking of the positive impacts of advising, I want to make sure that you sign up to attend a mini-conference on advising best practices and how we together can improve advising here for our students. So make sure you contact our colleagues in the Advising Center to sign up for this mini-conference that will be held next week. When you think about winterim, it really is relevant to the changing landscape of higher education. In the face of change, we can either stop in our tracks or cut a new path forward. The winterim of 2013 is about innovation that leads us towards our new future, the University of Wisconsin Parkside of the 21st century. In a few moments, I will invite Interim Provost Dr. Fred Ebeid to share a portion of an address he presented as the keynote speaker at Rajagiri College of Social Sciences during the International Conference on Innovation Business Excellence in Kerala State, South India, earlier this month. His address outlined some important ways the University of Wisconsin system and certainly the University of Wisconsin Parkside are at the leading edge in addressing the needs of 21st century learners. If you haven't done so already this morning, I urge you to take a few minutes at the end of Convocation to visit with our colleagues who are presenting their posters from their mini grants of the strategic plan. As you know, we are currently completing the UW-Parkside Promise, which was from 2010 through 2013. And the process of setting our strategic planning for the next several years will kick off in May of this year. So before I go any further, join me in thanking our great staff here at Sodexo for this excellent breakfast and for their continued service to the University of Wisconsin Parkside. So let me tell you what we're going to do this morning. We have a full agenda. So as is our tradition, we will honor our colleagues for their commitment to students as we mark their important anniversaries. Dr. Ebeid will present some key thoughts about how we are leading through the changing landscape of higher education from his keynote address in Kerala, India. We will also look ahead to the on-campus visit of the Higher Learning Commission, and you thought that you weren't going to have that. But I'm going to invite you to participate in our newest trivia contest. We had the Family Feud. Today we have the HLC Memory Game. So have a little extra oatmeal so you can compete. And our outstanding steering committee colleagues for the HLC and our very own game show host, Kim Kelly and Rob Barber, are ready to get us started. So right now, please join me in welcoming some distinguished guests who have joined us today. I would ask that our governance leaders stand and remain standing until all introductions are completed. And so we have with us Jonathan Shaler, the chair of the University Committee. Jonathan's right back there. So, Heather Miles, chair of Academic Staff Committee. Heather. Karen Graber, chair of our Classified Staff Committee. Karen. And Brad Schmitz, the president of the Parkside Student Government. Brad, thank you all very much for your continued work and leadership here at Parkside. Also, I'd like to welcome some of our board members. We have several members of the UW Parkside Foundation Board joining us today. I believe Roger Karen was planning to join us, but I didn't see Roger come in. We also have Jim Kramer, who is a graduate, and he's also president of the Alumni Association, and he invites everybody out to UW Parkside Day at the basketball games on February 2nd. Tom Nelson, there he is over there. You moved. And we have Bob Topey, who's also a graduate of UW Parkside on our foundation board. Thank you all so much. We also have members of the College of Business, Economics, and Computing Advisory Board joining us. We have Chuck Goodremote, who is also a graduate and serves as chair of the board. Terry Steidel, who is also a graduate of UW Parkside and a UW Parkside parent. Jerry Ewick, a graduate and member of the board. And Tom Nelson and Bob Topey also serve on our College of Business, Economics, and Computing Advisory Board. So thank you all very much for your continued involvement here at UW Parkside. I would also like to ask our emeritus faculty and staff members and retirees who have joined us this morning, and I had a chance to meet someone that I didn't know but who is with us from the very beginning, Kim from Criminal Justice, and I'm not sure where he went. So there you are, way back there. So stand up, and any retirees and emeritus faculty and staff. So thanks for joining us today. We also have Wisconsin State Senator and UW Parkside alum, Bob Wirtz, with us this morning. Senator Wirtz, thank you for all the good work you do for us. And we also have another graduate and elected official, Mayor Keith Bosman. Thank you for being here, and it's okay. He's a little knee issue, so we'll give him a big salute. And I'd also like to ask all of our UW Parkside alumni to please stand. And we have a lot of alumni here in the audience today, so let's recognize all of our outstanding alumni here at UW Parkside. So at this time, we're going to honor the exceptional service of our colleagues. And here to introduce our 5- and 10-year service award recipients is Assistant Chancellor for University Relations and Advancement, John Jaroszewski, better known as Johnny J.
Thank you, Chancellor Ford. Good morning. I am Johnny J, and it is my privilege to introduce colleagues with 5 years of service to the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. I ask you to stand when your name is called. Why don't we hold applause until everybody has been recognized, and then a big round of applause. Eugene Lerdahl. Eugene. Roseanne Weber. Gary Dreyer. Thomas Magwitz. Connie Minton. Ann Rasmussen. There's Ann. Cassie Vosters. Jill Finger. Barbara Hasper. Shante Stills. Jeffrey Alexander. Peter Knight. Abby Caravella. Amy Kushner. Luis Loud. Kent McReynolds. Andriani Veramontes. Adrian Veramontes. I'm sorry. I'm actually Polish, but... John Ward. Donald Fagiani. Ellen Zuwiel Hoffer. How'd I do? Christine Branch. Jamie Porras. Monica Schluckmeyer. Terrence Goltz. Sandra Light. Duonius Feldy. Beverly Graves. Denise Hancock. Congratulations to our 5-year service award recipients. Now we honor our colleagues with 10 years of service. Scott Brzezinski. Chris Ruitz. Sandra Tendeland. Katie Aiello. Barb Kiss. Diane Tenuta. Casey Jones. Carol Kinsley. Susan Linke. Maria Martinez. Mark Olson. Heather Spencer. Elizabeth McGee. And Chuck Hertz. Congratulations to our 10-year service award recipients. Now to introduce our 15-year service recipients, please welcome Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration, Mel Klinkner.
Thank you, John. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to introduce those with 15 years of service to UW-Parkside. Same way we did it earlier, all stand and we'll hold applause until all are introduced. First person, Louise Brea. Hold applause. Latrice Marshall. Carl Flieger. Stephanie Siravatka Marshall. Don Bogardus, Joel Bushman, Herbert Colston, Thea Kindis, Jonathan Olson, Joseph Pearson, Bob Sasso, and Chris Zanowski. Now to introduce our 20 and 25-year service recipients, please welcome Interim Provost Fred Eby.
Thank you, Mel. Now we honor colleagues who have given 2 decades of service to UW Parkside. And following suit, please stand and be recognized, and please continue standing until everyone has been introduced. Gloria Sykes. Marcy Hoofendale. Anthony Powell. Gregory Williams. Chris Jovanovic. April Purrier. Scott Thompson. Greg Meyer. David Wright. Lorraine Hayfield. Lorraine. Congratulations to our 20-year service award winner. Now we honor our colleagues with 25 years of service. We ask that all of you stand, except for our first honoree, who is recovering from surgery. Cheryl Gunderson. If you'll wave, Cheryl, wherever you are. Oh, she's not here. That's why she's not saying it. Glenn Larson. Patrick McGuire. Patrick Hurley. Still, we can please join in congratulating. Not only our 20-year, but also the 25-year colleagues. Now, here to honor our University of Wisconsin Parkside colleagues with 30 and 35 years of service, please once again welcome Chancellor Debbie Ford.
For all of our service recipients, at the end of Convocation, your commemorative pins are up here, so please take a few moments and pick up those pins, and congratulations to all of you for your years of service, and it is much, much appreciated here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. So I have the honor of recognizing our 30 and 35-year award recipients, and we have 3 30-year service award recipients and 3 35-year recipients. And so I'm going to change the script just a little bit. We have some folks that are a little stage shy, and so rather than them coming here, I'm going to them. So if you'll indulge me as I make my way over to honor our 30 and 35-year recipients. So I'm going to ask them to stand. Okay. So the first colleague is Mark Eichner, and Mark cannot be with us today, but I can tell you that he is our band leader and trumpet instructor. He leads our community band, the wind ensemble, and brass works. Mark performs regularly with the Waukesha Symphony Orchestra and has worked with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, the Florentine Opera, and many others. He is also the community's band leader, having conducted the Racine Concert Band for more than a decade. So please join me in a big round of applause for our colleague, Mark Eichner. Next, I'd like to recognize Psychology Department colleague, Michael Gertman. Michael touches the lives of our students from the first year through graduate school. He teaches everything from general psychology to abnormal psychology and more. He is the co-advisor to the certificate program in mental health, and on ratemyprofessor.com, students call him, and I quote, an amazing professor. And that he is, quoting again, unmatched in his knowledge and professionalism, end quote. Here's something that many of you may not know about Michael. I love these interesting facts. He and his wife attend the Newport Jazz Festival every year, and his favorite Newport memory is being there for Dave Brubeck's last Newport performance. So Michael, thank you for all you do here at UW Parkside, and congratulations on 30 years of service. Very proud of you. Also celebrating 30 years, Dr. Jim McKeever. So, as a teacher, as an administrator, Jim has done it all. A piano teacher, a piano accompanist, a solo and duo pianist, a department chair, fundraiser, and in the 1980s was the director of the Fine Arts Division here at UW Parkside. As we know, Jim was one of the driving forces behind the music wing and the Francis Bedford Concert Hall in the Rita. He received the 2011 Faculty Distinguished Service Award, and in the community, Jim has helped the Racine Music Teachers Association. His certificate program in piano pedagogy serves the region's teachers, and he regularly conducts workshops. But here's something that you may not know about Jim. Decades ago, when he was dreaming of the Rita and a concert hall, he sketched out the first drawings on a napkin. And today it stands exactly where he imagined it. So Jim, thank you for your years of service here at UW Parkside, and congratulations. So, you gotta see this tie up here. So now we celebrate our 35-year honorees. And first, we have Brian Gascon. But Brian cannot be with us today, but I wanted you to know about his 3.5 decades serving our university. During this time, Brian has kept our campus facilities clean, healthy, and ready to go. He has been assigned to every building at the university and has spent his last 4 years making sure that the UW Parkside Student Center shines. So let's show Brian how much we appreciate his hard work and his exceptional service here at UW Parkside. So also celebrating 35 years of service is Dennis Bayuzik. And so Dennis, come on over if it's okay. And Dean, I'd like for you to Dean Young, stand up. Dean is wearing Dennis's favorite color in honor of Dennis today. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you take orders for ties? All right, all right. So Dennis says he takes a personal view of his art and his students' education. He wants his students and viewers to find in art what he calls mysterious symbolic meaning. That may be one reason that Dennis secretly puts his own image in many of his paintings, making his portrait part of the mysterious symbolic meaning. But here's something that you may not have known until I mentioned it. Dennis has a deep affection for the color purple, and all variations of violet he can mix up. And his wardrobe always includes something purple. And his art, absolutely. So, so Dennis, for 35 colorful and mysterious years, thank you for all that you have done here at UW Parkside. Congratulations. I'm not sure all these folks started at the same time, and they're the folks who have made the Rita come alive. So in music and art, and certainly in the fine arts department. So the final 35-year honoree is our colleague, Karen Sorensen. Karen, yeah, that's right. As we know, Karen, she's the brains, heart, and soul of the RETA. Whether it's scheduling noon concerts or other musical events, getting programs ready for the play, or working out the logistics of showing fabulous art in 3 separate galleries, Karen does it all. And I can attest, I have seen her do everything. Karen was the 2007 recipient of the Classified Staff Distinguished Service Award, and I find this hard to believe that Karen has been here for 35 years. And so what she wants you to know is that she was hired when she was 10 years old. And so, Karen, I hear that 50 is the new 30. So you got 5 years to go. And so thank you for all that you do and have done here at UW Parkside. And we really appreciate you for your 35 years of continued and very, very dedicated service. So let's have all of our service recipients 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years, please stand and be recognized again. This is great. You are, all of you, the heart and soul of UW Parkside, and I very much thank you for that. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Fred Ebeid, our interim provost, to share some ideas and thoughts about the changing landscape of higher education. Dr. Ebeid.
Thank you, Chancellor Ford, and again, good morning to all of you. As the Chancellor indicated earlier this morning, I had the honor and the privilege of being invited to present the keynote address at an international conference on innovative practices for business excellence that was held in Kochi, India, just 10 days ago. In my presentation, I focused on the importance of preparing our students for the 21st century economy, and also on the changing nature of American higher education. In a moment, I'll briefly summarize and share with you some of the key themes and ideas that I expressed at the conference. However, a few days prior to the conference, and in another city in India, I had the opportunity to sign 2 memorandums of understanding with the Indian Institute of Cost and Management Studies and Research. Often referred to as INSEARCH, the school is located in Pune, about a 3-hour drive from Mumbai. The agreement signed will allow degree-seeking students from INSEARCH to enroll at UW Parkside's Master of Business Administration and Master of Science in Computer and Information Systems program. It will also allow for the short-term exchange of faculty, staff, and students in a further effort to promote globalization on our campus. While in Pune and later in Delhi, I met up and spent a few days with 4 of our students who, along with Professor Parag Dumal from the business department, were participating in a 17-day travel study program in India. However, at the conference, I began my presentation by addressing the global nature of learning as a response to a globalized economy. As many of you know, UW Parkside has partnerships with universities in Brazil, Germany, China, India, and Italy. We are now also exploring the possibility of adding a new partnership in Australia. When I served as Dean of the College of Business, Economics, and Computing, we set out to create the conditions for our students to learn and excel in a global economy. To accomplish this goal, we have moved to internationalize our curriculum and provide our students and faculty with international experiences. Our purpose is to create a globalized classroom so as to better prepare our students to compete in the global economy. I also discuss the need to be more responsible to the expectation of employers and the communities that we serve. In the College of Business, Economics, and Computing, we utilize an advisory board made up of high-level representatives from a variety of businesses and industries across southeastern Wisconsin. A valuable contribution from our board members is access to the expectations employers have from the graduates that we are sending into the workforce. The book, Game Changers, Education and Information Technologies, edited by Diana G. Oblinger for an organization called EDUCAUSE, notes that 88% of American employers surveyed indicate that the challenges their employees face within their companies are more complex today than they ever were in the past. Furthermore, employers seek the 21st century competencies, which include thinking critically and solving complex problems, working collaboratively, communicating effectively, and learning independently, as well as the ability to be work-ready and to contribute on day one. It's important to the continued growth of American higher education to be attentive and responsive to the economic, business, and cultural needs of the communities that we serve. The work our university is doing in the area of business and economic development is at the leading edge of a new understanding of the very nature of higher education. Further, we have a new set of opportunities brought on by the changing demographics of students in American higher education. Many people today carry the assumption that a college student is 18 to 25 years of age. These same students, it is assumed, attend college and expect to graduate within 4 years. However, this typical student is quickly becoming the exception, not the rule today. The University of Wisconsin-Parkside understands that we will be serving in the future more non-traditional students, those that are 25 years of age or older. We must therefore adjust for their different needs and find ways to serve them as our economy and their livelihood depends upon it. For many years, higher education was centered in state-funded or private universities. However, over the past several decades, much more differentiation has occurred, including two-year schools, technical colleges, and for-profit universities. In fact, data today indicates that nearly 50% of all U.S. college students attend two-year schools. Additionally, we must recognize the single most important innovation that has led to the rise of for-profit education, the internet. This leads me to my final point. It's imperative to recognize the rapid pace at which higher education is changing today. Recently, I read a story with the headline, "How California's Online Education Pilot Will End College as We Know It." It refers to the University of California system exploring paths towards degree completion through online learning, particularly during the first 2 years of college, and at a greatly reduced cost of what we pay today. Indeed, it's a startling thought that challenges many assumptions that each of us hold regarding the nature of higher education. Our own UW system is exploring and creating new delivery models, including the online Flex Option program that allow working adult students to show proficiency in a course of study through assessment and thereby qualify for college credits as they work towards a degree. The University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, for example, recently announced that they soon will be offering a competency-based bachelor degrees in diagnostic imaging and in information sciences to begin this fall. Here on campus, under the leadership of Professors Suresh Chelasani and Megan Mullen, a new task force made up of faculty and necessary support staff is being created at Parkside to develop a flex option degree program that we anticipate to be offered as early as the fall of 2014. An invitation will soon go out to the campus asking for interested individuals to serve on this important task force. The flex option is one example of innovative course delivery that directly addresses the need for American higher education to be more responsive to the needs of employers, responsive to the needs of the changing profile of the emerging non-traditional learners, and responsive to the economics of providing greater access to more people, and lastly, responsive to the growing innovations made possible through new technology. I'll close with a quote from former CIO Boeing Corporation, Phil Conduit. Conduit said, "We're moving towards a global economy. One way of approaching that is to pull the covers over your head. Another way is to say, it may be more complicated, but that's the world that we're going to live in, and I might as well be good at it." Thank you, and appreciate that.
And to build on that quote, here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside, we have been good at delivering quality education for almost 45 years. And so as we think about the changing landscape and the challenges ahead, but certainly the opportunities ahead, how do we continue not only to be good, but to be great? So thank you, Fred, for sharing your comments. And I think that it's important to note that the conversations that we're having here today are the same conversations that our colleagues around the world are having. How do we adapt? How do we lead during these changing times? So one of the big projects on our agenda for this year is the completion of the Higher Learning Commission self-study and the Higher Learning Commission peer review visit, which will take place April 28th through May 1st. Make sure that's on your calendars. So I'd like to invite the co-chairs of our steering committee, Dr. Kimberly Kelly and Dr. Rob Barber, to come on down. So we're going to have a little fun, and they're going to give us an update on where we are. We have, as you know, for the last several convocations, been working to prepare for our self-study and for our upcoming visit. And so today, we are going to have the Convocation edition of the memory game, and it is called the Higher Learning Commission Script Recall. And so, our favorite co-host, Kim Kelly and Rob Barber.
Well, it's good to be back. It's good to be here. It's good to see all of you in the audience.
Absolutely. Good morning. It's great to see you. The fun will come later. I'm sorry. I'm going to start out and give you some information about where we're at. As Chancellor Ford pointed out, we're approaching the home stretch for our affirmation of our accreditation status with the Higher Learning Commission. A huge Okay. Yeah. A huge milestone in this will be the submission of the self-study report, something that a number of individuals have contributed significant time and effort in working on and developing. And I'd just like to make the note that the latest draft of that was reviewed yesterday by the leadership team and was approved. So we're looking to move that forward. We're making some final adjustments. We're about 98% there, I feel. We're making some final adjustments and working with an editor. And I'll have a timeline on that in a few minutes. But first, if we can have the next slide, please. Or I can control it. There we go. Working on the self-study drafts has been a very long and tedious process. And this is one of the last public times that we can give credit where credit's due. So we would like to do that right now, if that's okay. We would ask you again to stand up and be recognized for your contribution. And we'll start with a list of names. First, Jeff Alexander, who is the Criterion 2 chair. Yeah. Lori Allen was the Criterion 3 chair. Dirk Baldwin, Criterion 5 chair. Nice, Dirk. Teresa Castor, Criterion 4 chair. Thank you. Renee Kirby was Criterion 1 co-chair. Thank you, Renee. Ed Twyman, key contributor, co-chair in Criterion 1. Anna Static, who I have to take a minute here and talk about Anna for a second because she has been, everyone's been working really hard, but my heart particularly goes out to Anna because we have been changing the document ruthlessly over the past month, and she has done her best and kept us on our toes in updating the information as she prepares the virtual resource room, which is the body of evidence that is going to be reviewed. So thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, Anna.
John Jaroszewski, thank you very much, is the chair of the communications and John J, the communications and logistics team. Thank you very much. There's a number of Criterion Committee members and the leadership committee as well. Too many names to put on one particular slide. All of you know that you've contributed to this, and I just want to thank everyone for all their hard work and the effort that's gone into developing this document. So thanks to everybody. So now, again, a little bit of information, so forgive me. So what we're looking for is as we said yesterday, we met, talked about the current status of the self-study draft, and we've approved it, and it's moving forward to an editor. We're looking to get that into, moving that into the template by February 1st. February 1st, that work will start, so get it all nicely formatted and everything for the external reviewers. The self-study document will be sent to reviewers on February 20th. For them to begin to look at that. So during this time of the next month will again be a big time crunch in making sure that both the document is formatted appropriately as well as all the appropriate evidence is available and linked. Okay, and we have a bunch of evidence. So it's going to be a lot of work. Concurrently with those efforts, we're looking at developing federal compliance response. You're going to be hearing a lot about this, and so I'm just putting a note in for Kim because Kim will be driving a lot of this effort, and a lot of other people will be contributing to this. But there's new federal compliance guidelines that were established in January of this year. And everyone is struggling with, working really hard to get these, to ensure that we are compliant with all of these. In particular, the way this falls out with our review, okay, we need to get this done by March 1st. So there's going to be a quick timeline, turnaround on providing the evidence to ensure that we're in federal compliance, okay? And basically it's information gathering, but it's very important, it's very critical. If you get a request for evidence related to federal compliance, please respond in a more than timely manner, okay? Because that, the self-study is critical. This is essential.
And I have to just mention that we do need to recognize our registrar, Rhonda Kimmel, who will be doing the majority of the heavy lifting on the federal compliance, because the amount of information they want to know about our academic calendar and our course credits is overwhelmingly dull. And she is the one who will provide it to them on the lovely federal compliance worksheet.
Thank you, Rhonda, in advance. So be sure to give Rhonda a smile when you see her. Concurrently, and another effort that will be ongoing and is due March 1st is looking at developing the distant education application. There's some details that we'll be discussing. There's going to be a presentation at Faculty Senate as well as other forums on campus to discuss the distance education application.
So in the spirit of game playing, who would like to make the suggestion of which two majors at the university are so close to being offered online, but secretly? No one knows. Anyone in the room want to take a guess? Oh, Jane Schaefer. Might that be sociology and communication? Indeed. Who knew? Not me. But now I know. So we're going for the distance education application. And
again, you'll be hearing more about the HLC reaccreditation through February and April. We'll be talking more about preparing for the visit, make sure that everyone's at least read the introduction to the self-study, and ensure that we're all a well-informed population for the reviewers when they come talk to us. And then, of course, the visiting team is on campus April 28th to May 1st. Now, and it's important to note, again, it's a little bit of, I'm a little wistful about this, knowing that this may be one of the last times I'll be at Convocation to talk about this. But
wait, Rob, continuous improvement and accreditation are ongoing.
Right, that's the key thing. That's the one thing that I really, another point I really want to bring home based upon my experience in this activity, is that, there's not going to be a lag after this. It's not 10 years later, what have you done? It's going to be, yearly updates filed into a virtual room at HLC. This is going to be an ongoing process. This marks the beginning of it, okay? We're going to put in a self-study. Our peers are going to review us, look at us. They're going to say what a wonderful job we're doing. And, of course, they'll come up with a number of suggestions for improvement. I'm sure they will. Everyone, that's their job. And, those are things that we're going to want to address. And they're going to, the Higher Learning Commission doesn't just come back 10 years from now. It's going to be continuous. And I just really want to emphasize that, everybody. That's going to be all of our responsibilities to ensure that we maintain this momentum that we've got in the self-study. Okay? I think we go to the game, right? So I'll turn it over to...
Actually, I'm going to use the hand mic so that Rob can speak whenever he chooses with those tidbits of intelligence that only a true biologist could provide. Knowing that, we're playing the memory game because, believe it or not, we've been up here before, and there are things to remember. Not that we do. But unless you're having a senior moment, let's play. Okay, on your tables, you should have a blue and pink piece of paper. And if all goes well, you can pick those up and decide who will be your representative and will be the ones to hold up the pink or the blue. Once you've made that decision, you're ready to play.
Yeah,
now,
this isn't that critical.
because all of you are unique and different, we want you to know, we recognize no one is really the same, and all of us are different. But for this particular game, we'd like you to pick one or the other. And that would be, and so in my senior moment, I don't see those words way in the back of the room, miraculously, but I do see colors pretty well. Unless you're my son, who's colorblind. So we're going to use the colors, all right? So you're going to hold up. If you think it's the same, you'll hold up. Very good. And if you think it's different, I just want to point out, in deference to Johnny J., that pink is the color of boys in Poland. Thank you. And yes, I too am Polish. Can't you tell? All right. All right. So go, Rob.
So we have a sample question here for you to practice on. Okay, we're not keeping track of anything yet. This is just a sample question.
Just a sample question. No pressure. Okay.
This is how the game's going to go. So first you'll be posed the question of who did the script say is the male co-chair of the self-study process? And if you recall, in the fall, we did this in Family Feud fashion, and we listed various individuals, all right? So you have something that looks like this. All right, so everybody's got this? You can't see him at all? It's too bright?
No one can see it? Really? Okay, so it says John Wayne, Rob Barber, or Kim Kelly. Now, you're going to compare it to the next slide.
Right.
I know you're eager. One moment.
So the take-homes from this exercise, we really want you to come away today with, so I'll just give you the take-home. We want you to know that you've been heard, that we're comparing the script responses. Does anybody remember the scripts? we have all that evidence. And
way back in Aught 5.
Right, exactly. So we've looked at the scripts, and we did a presentation on that in the fall. Today we're comparing that to the self-study and what's represented in the self-study. Okay. So the idea now is we wanted to say that in the self-study process, what is the self-study process? Who is the male co-chair in the self-study process? All right, so does everybody follow that? Then the idea is we can present you with those answers. We can let you think about that for a minute, but I think you know the answer already. And it would be something like this.
John Wayne, Bob Barker, or Kim Kelly.
Now, is it the same or different?
Is it the same or the different from the previous slide?
Exactly.
All right, hold them high. That's what I love about it. Everybody has an opinion.
Right, exactly. Please.
Thank you for your feedback. Looks like it's different. Different wins.
Please have your pet spayed or neutered.
And don't call him Bob Barker, okay?
So, that was for the people who thought it was the same.
Okay, everybody feel comfortable. Anyone who doesn't feel comfortable, hold up your pink. Great, okay. All right, if you don't feel comfortable, there's the door. No.
Exactly. Don't give them an out, Kim.
Okay, the first question is, what were the most frequently mentioned highlights and successes in the Parkside scripts?
Just think, talk amongst yourselves for a second and see if you can remember those from before. Does anybody remember what the successes or highlights were? Anybody want to offer any? Before we show them? Nobody remembers. All right, this is what they were.
Academic program excellence, building projects, student services, success and support, planning, improved efficiency, diversity and inclusion initiatives.
In no particular order. But these were from the scripts that, the take-homes. We asked questions to everybody across campus. What were the 3 to 5 highlights of the past 5 years? What were the 3 to 5 successes of the past 5 years? These were the top 3 from each of those categories from the scripts.
Okay, emblazon them in your brains. Now, what were the highlights and successes mentioned in the self-study?
I kind of like this power.
Improved efficiency, academic program excellence, building projects, student learning outcomes assessment, planning, and diversity and inclusion initiatives. Are they the same or are they different? Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Go back.
We're going to go back, although you did great. Okay, what was different? Student learning outcomes assessment, because it's fabulous, and because it's great, and because you led student learning outcomes assessment. Although little did you know, they're truly the same, and why is that? Because student learning outcomes assessment means student success. I've been waiting for weeks to do that one. Okay. Anybody who knows me, I have a reputation for being some kind of an assessment person. Yeah, so they were different, and yes, there will be prizes. Okay, moving on.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the highlights that are in the self-study about this. And by the way, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with us having, I guess not everyone's seen the latest draft, but it will be out soon, and you'll be able to identify various areas in the self-study that refer to these particular areas. For example, on the topic of assessment, it's in Chapter 4, which is all about assessment, as well as Chapter 3, Chapter 5. It's spread throughout the self-study, absolutely. And the idea is, we've made dramatic strides in terms of assessment of programs, of everything that we do. We're using that information. Yeah, we could do more work. We're a maturing campus in terms of assessment. Okay, that is the picture that is reflected in our current self-study. We could do things better, but we're doing a lot more than what we've done in the past. So it's really, really good.
We have a lot to be proud of.
Yes,
is what we've learned through the self-study process.
Planning is embedded throughout the self-study as well. The academic plan, strategic plan, campus master plan. Everything flows forth from the planning efforts that we've done over the past 4 or 5 years, and that's throughout as well. Diversity and inclusion initiatives, just a couple of highlights. The Center for Ethnic Studies, for example, increased the number of diversity courses by 50%, as well as departmental involvement or participation in offering diversity courses by, I believe it's around 50%. Okay.
We also, hearkening back to the comment of the provost previously, we also have done significant work on internationalization of the curriculum.
Absolutely.
And in terms of increasing our international student presence, and that is through the work of the Center for International Studies and Study Abroad.
And again, there's many, many highlights. We don't mean to limit them. It's just we do have a certain amount of time here. Building projects. Building projects really came out in terms of community engagement. The idea of you know, how the facilities and that what we offer here at Parkside has been enhanced through these building projects, how they fit into our master plan, our academic plan, our strategic plan, and what we do. It's worth noting, however, that this also poses a future direction for us in terms of being able to maintain the excellent facilities that we have, as well as improvements to technology that are going to be an ongoing concern. Okay, so we view it both as a strength, as a highlight, but also a continuing need that we need to continue to support. Academic program excellence embedded throughout chapters 3 and chapters 4. For example, we've developed 10 new programs over the past 9 years. One could easily argue that all of them are interdisciplinary. Okay, 5 of them, half of them are consortial. So even in an environment of declining resources, UW Parkside has been able to develop new programs that address specific areas that suit their needs in our community.
Address employer requirements as well as being leveraging.
Everything Fred said. And that we've been doing that over the past 10 years. Okay. Improved efficiencies. This integrated planning, for example, is one example of that. Other examples of improving process. Again, you can see a lot of that embedded within the assessment, the idea of working, piloting things, trying things out, and improving upon processes. Okay?
Next question.
I thought this was going to be more fun.
What were the most often cited challenges and future directions in the script responses?
You guys remember the challenges and future directions that we asked about in the scripts? I bet you do.
Okay, the script said faculty and staff issues, enrollment, retention, and recruitment, and budget and resources. Okay?
So these kind of went together, or these were the challenges that were highlighted in the scripts.
Okay, so similarly, what were the challenges and future directions in the self-study? And they were recruitment, compensation, and professional development for faculty and staff. So we got a lot more sophisticated in terms of what we thought that faculty staff thing was. Diversity and inclusion initiatives, enrollment, retention, and recruitment, sustaining assessment and budget and resources. And one thing you'll notice here, are they the same or are they different? Different. Okay, fair enough. How are they different? You're going to have to yell. More. Lots more. We're going to be busy, very busy, right? So the scripts were very basically targeted, focused.
So I think it's important to note that although they are different, these are all embedded. So everything that you said in the scripts is embedded in the future directions that have been identified through the self-study as areas that we need to address. Okay? But in addition to that, for example, sustaining assessment was not listed previously, but it's certainly something that comes through when you look at the self-study.
And we have a lot going on in terms of budget and resource with the integrated resource planning process, and everything that we have achieved has also created new opportunity and challenge, and that's what's reflected here, that there are issues that we're going to have to continue to address, but that the scripts and the self-study affirmed those things that are most important to our campus and to our campus community. Okay. All right. Okay, so thank you. It was simple, it was short. We tried to keep it sweet as possible. And we have here Amanda Welbun, who works in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, and Linda Busha is joining her. And they will be quietly going to your tables to give you candy that we hope you will enjoy, take with you, and think of us fondly on April 28th through May 1st.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. So that's just the beginning of the primer on the Higher Learning Commission reaffirmation for reaccreditation process. And so those few quick facts in terms of what we said as a campus were things we were proud of and highlights and things that we want to continue to focus on and how that's come together in the self-study. We're very pleased to see that alignment. And so I really want to thank Rob and Kim, all the Criterion co-chairs, all the folks have contributed to the document. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's give them another round of applause. So I want to end today's convocation with an emphasis, as I started, of the UW Parkside of the future, or UW Parkside as we begin this 45th year. So I want you to know that I believe that we are privileged. We are privileged to be able to serve UW Parkside and be able to be leaders and educators in higher education at this time. I know that we recognize that there are new ideas, there are certainly challenges and technologies, and lots of folks interested in what we're doing and influencing the future of higher education. However, as Kim and Rob shared with us briefly, our Higher Learning Commission self-study process has provided us with a great opportunity to assess our readiness in meeting the changes and challenges ahead. Throughout the document and throughout this process, we have important evidence that points to the unique talents, ideas, innovations, and programs that make our university, the University of Wisconsin-Parkside, a one-of-a-kind educational community. And this is very exciting. It places the future of our university right where it belongs, in the hands of our dedicated faculty and staff and students. So as we continue to move forward, as we move closer to the 45th anniversary of our university, choices and changes will be made, but these choices will be based on our identified strengths and those areas we want to improve. Our self-study process and the evidence is helping us to do that. It's important to note that the choices that will be made with students' needs and student success as our highest priority. That's what was the intention when we were founded, and it continues to be that intention today. So as we move closer to our 45th anniversary of providing quality higher education, I invite you to continue to lead and be a part of this changing landscape ahead. Know that we will control our future, and I believe the best way to take control is to view change as choices that lead us to the University of Wisconsin-Parkside of this 21st century. Thank you for your continued commitment to make UW-Parkside a great place to work, a great place to learn, and a great place to contribute. As I stated earlier, you are the heart and soul of what makes this university work each and every day. So thank you for that. So all the best as we begin the spring of 2013 semester together. Thank you and have a great semester.